So today we're going to be talking about a few stories, and I mean the biggest one probably will be this week is it looks like Nancy Pelosi may be sending over the impeachment papers over to the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So this first story, it is out of that's a Reuters story. Anyway, this is an opinion story from Matthew Continetti, but really I just wanted to speak on this. I mean, just um
The hilarity.
yes. And the weird thing is that, this just speaks to the genius of Mitch McConnell. And I know he hasn't always been our favorite. He hasn't always been our favorite Republican. As far as Republicans go, he is, the top establishment dog.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Mitch McConnell is I think he probably perfected a lot of the same strategies that Trump uses, but just in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So the Trump's ability to make people think he's off the cuff when most of the time he isn't. It's just I think a lot of times it's just strategy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times it'll seem like he's off the cuff and he's just going off script and things are just happening crazy and there really is no plan. A lot of times there are, and it just tricks people into thinking they're countering him
Mm-hmm.
when really they're stepping right into the trap that he set for them.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch McConnell does that in a lot of different ways, except for he doesn't do it as flamboyantly as Trump does, and as
He does it in his own way.
no, really how McConnell does it is he just doesn't talk really.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't tell you what his cards are. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't play things out
Mm-hmm.
out in the open. A lot of times he's just silent
Mm-hmm.
and things are just happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fitting that he is called the turtle
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times he's just walking along. And we've done that, Democrats fall for it almost every time with
Mm-hmm.
Mitch McConnell,
Mm-hmm.
where they think they're just sprinting around him. They're the hare, they're
Mm-hmm.
beating them, they're running circles around him. They thought that with Obama a bunch of different times with McConnell. But then when you look out over a year or two, you can see where Mitch McConnell ended up jumping over,
Mm-hmm.
a few different, like with the judges, for instance.
It's amazing with him because it's like he is just not your guy when it comes to certain things. But boy, when it comes to the things that are important to him,
Yes.
that guy is a bulldog. I mean, he's not going to
Yeah.
let go.
And one thing I will say that he crossed the line. Nancy Pelosi crossed the line when she started trying to dictate what the Senate was going to do.
Oh, totally.
And Mitch McConnell is very, very sensitive to his baby, which is the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not going to
Mm-hmm.
cede power of the Senate to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're
And
going to.
certainly not Nancy Pelosi.
No, certainly not Nancy Pelosi. She had no idea what she was going up against when she thought she was going to be telling Mitch McConnell what was going to be happening with this impeachment.
And this is after the disastrous way that they even brought about the impeachment by holding secret meetings and not allowing any witnesses or any Republicans into rooms and all that other crap that was going on. She thought that she was going to bring that same circus to the Senate, which I don't even know why.
And the brilliance of it, she had absolutely no leverage. So he just played it exactly how anyone would play it when someone has no leverage. It's like he just sit back and he just said, okay, you'll be here. You'll need me before I need you. And then over time, the moderate Democrats in the Senate started coming out and saying, well, maybe it's time to get those impeachment over here.
What are we doing?
And at the end of the day, it ended up being a big loss for Pelosi, even though you won't see that anywhere in the media. This was a big loss for her because she got absolutely nothing out of this stalled whatever this was, and she just
I'm just gonna say this impeaching the president this whole gamut that they have run with the House. This is political theater. I'm just telling you right now. Doesn't mean that the president can actually be impeached to the point of leaving office. I think that it's not likely. But what I'm saying is that this is political theater. This is what Democrats do. When it comes to the House, when it comes to Democrats, this is all smoke and mirrors. This is what they do. And when you've got the media heavily behind you, really making a big stink about it, really putting information out there like some great victory has been won, then it can actually make a victory that's completely non-existent look pretty
And
decent, look
the
pretty
funny
big.
thing is, they've been coming out with all these puff pieces
Oh my
since
gosh.
she held the,
Yeah.
she's a genius. Look at
Yeah.
her. She's so powerful. Look
Yeah.
what she's doing.
She's
She's the
she's
smartest
leading the
person in
house.
Washington.
And it's like, are you
And
kidding me
then when
right now?
you
This is a
look at it,
disaster.
she had no leverage. And to Mitch McConnell's credit, he picked the exact same rules
Yep.
that Bill Clinton had during
sure
his
did.
impeachment. He said, if
Back
it was
in
good for
99.
them, it's
Yep.
good for me.
Yep.
Also, not to mention that all this, oh my gosh, he's coordinating with the White House and all. He's not going to be impartial. Senate Democrats, when they were in charge of the Senate during Bill Clinton's impeachment,
Mm-hmm.
they did the exact same thing.
They did.
Literally.
They did.
So Mitch McConnell just like, I'm gonna play it how y'all played it.
Yeah.
And Mitch McConnell plays the long ball better than anybody I know in Washington right now. People talk about how Democrats play the long ball. Democrats do not play the long ball how Mitch McConnell plays the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
He sits there, what he did with those judges.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what he did with those judges. That's going to be multiple, at least 2 generations worth of different precedents that come out of the choices he made by holding back on these judges for Obama. He got to hand President Trump hundreds of judges, judge positions all over the country, and all these circuit judges and appeal judges at the federal level. I mean,
I think they cleared 12 of them on the day that President Trump was impeached by the House. I mean, Mitch McConnell was smiling ear to ear on that day.
Pushing them out. He's just pushing them out. And he says, "Go ahead and bring this impeachment over here." So
because they're actually getting work done instead of working to get rid of the president every waking moment, which is what Democrat voters are actually wanting right now from their government.
So the next story is, this one is out of Breitbart, and it is about the new Peter Schweizer book. It is called, Profiles in Corruption. And so you might remember Peter Schweizer. He is the author of Clinton Cash.
Now, if you have not watched that documentary, it is excellent.
Yeah. And really it's if you could rank Peter Schweizer as far as like, I guess in 2016, there were a lot of different factors that went into the Trump phenomenon and Republicans winning the House and winning the Senate. If you could factor in different people who were major factors in making 2016 happen, Peter Schweizer would definitely be on the list, I guess, of like top 20 people.
Oh yeah.
And on top of that, you could add Dinesh D'Souza for a lot of the work he did before that. I feel like those 2 men laid the groundwork for a lot of the exposing the systemic corruption at the high levels of the Democrat Party and in our government. These 2 men exposed so many things, along with John Solomon and Sarah Carter. And those people right there, they have built so much as far as exposing all the corruption in government, all the all the corruption. So anyway, Peter Schweizer has a new book, and this is from Breitbart. A forthcoming bombshell book from publishing giant HarperCollins will reveal how 5 members of Joe Biden's family, the Biden Five, siphoned off tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer cash and guaranteed loans. In the recent scandals involving Joe and Hunter Biden, Ukraine and Burisma are just the tip of the iceberg, says sources close to the publisher. So be looking for that on January 21st, because, I mean, this is probably going to rock the primaries coming up. Or it might not. Who knows? I mean, it probably won't.
I mean, I think it explains, why Biden is so adamant about not complying with the Senate if he is subpoenaed. I mean, I wouldn't either if I was crooked. But one of the things too that I want to bring up about that is that I always hear people ask, they always ask, I don't understand why none of these people are going to jail. I don't understand. Let me just say this, follow the money, but also how deep corruption goes is when books and documentaries can be made and written about these people, like the Clintons and like the Biden family, and no one go to jail. That should really be an indication to you. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm not saying that it's just across the board. Well, nothing's going to be done. I'm saying that that really needs to be an indication to American voters of how deep the corruption goes.
Yeah, I mean,
one hand shakes one hand shakes the other, one hand, washes the other, whatever phrase you want to use. I'm just saying that that is how deep that this thing goes. That's that, and like you said, that's the tip of the iceberg is the Ukraine fiasco. So
and just
keep an
think
eye on
about
that.
this too. Just some food for thought with that deep corruption. In charge of the new FISA court has had a lot of. They've passed some laws, I guess, to reform the FISA court and make it not so corrupt. Well, guess who they just put in charge of like a key portion of it? An ex-Obama lawyer, Obama administration lawyer.
Surprise!
So I mean, this just shows you, even in a Republican administration, you could still have it to where something like this would happen. I'd imagine if Trump gets wind of this, he's probably going to nip this in the bud real quick. But just to have this happen and someone think that this is okay, that just shows you right there that they're at a different level in Washington. Yep. They are in your face. Yep. And if you're not paying attention, they will slip it in and they don't care.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the next story we're going to be talking about is from one of our favorite senators, Nathan Dahm. And this is from a tweet from Nathan.
Not a story.
It's not a story. And anyway, so
a little bit of Oklahoma, sprinkling in some Oklahoma news.
You got to sprinkle some of that in. So today I filed SB 1264, which would stop cities from creating traffic ticket quotas. Our peace officers should have the opportunity to serve and protect our communities without being threatened by their employer for it. So SB 1264, based off this tweet, I would stop traffic ticket quotas. Sounds pretty smart. And it also points to more every session, the past few sessions I've paid attention when it came to laws like this, of them chipping away at what I would call the administrative state, where the cities and counties and all these different entities were trying to milk the public, milk the taxpayer, milk the citizen for different fees and things like this. And this is just another way that they milk you for those fees by setting up these traffic tickets. And I mean,
speed traps.
Yeah. And one guy wrote in commenting on this, he wrote, RIP speed traps. I'm looking at you, Stringtown, Kiowa, Holbert, and etc.
I was thinking about Stringtown and Asher.
So, I mean, if they're relying on revenue from speeding tickets and hiding these police officers in bushes and stuff so they can catch people, I mean, that stuff's going to have to stop. They're going to have to find another way to balance their books. Maybe they have to live more fiscally or within their means as a city.
Well, we'll keep you posted on that, as we move into 2020, because Oklahoma session is right around the corner. So,
and I'm sure there will be a lot of opposition to a bill like that.
I would imagine so. So we'll keep you posted.